You know, I've consumed like 63 episodes of this now, and I just doesn't quite feel satisfying.
No, definitely not sated.
Yeah, I just keep consuming more and more, and I'm not happier. You think I'd learn?
I think we'd stop at some point, no.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's much more to this buffet.
You want to kick us out?
Please? Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 63, Digimon Ghost Game, Gluttony. I don't know anything. If you have watched any of our episodes before, you know we go very in depth. If you're averse to spoilers, you may wish to leave and come back at a later time. Out of the way, let's dive right into it, which begins with...
A new intro.
Oh.
Yeah, Respimon's in it now.
Oh. I didn't even bother to check.
What? He's so important and lovable!
Oh, yes! I mean, the intro is like the best part of the season.
Just on the other side of the picture of Vespimon for some.
Oh, okay.
But then we started the same opening narration from the host narrator.
Mm-hmm. And we start with the formula.
Mm-hmm.
I always joke about making a bingo card that we can check off of the things that go, but it's a little late in the season. But yeah, we start with some dude who's in his kitchen late at night, and we see lots of empty cartons and things around him. Got the refrigerator open, only lit by the small lamp inside. Need more. I need more. See his mouth is this really weird, like jagged looking thing. First I was thinking kind of like Babamon or something. I was like,
Gullumon.
yeah, there's a few kind of Digimon.
He reaches for something and sees his arm is really long and stretching.
And stretches out to be able to grab something, but it's empty, and chucks it. And that's it.
He passes out and we move on.
Yep. They move on to Ruli and her friends.
Yep.
So the formula still moving on to our heroes with one of their friends.
And they're apparently at an all-you-can-eat cake festival.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure, why not?
And they're like, oh, we're in heaven. This is so good.
2-day event. Tomorrow there's like Foods of the World and others will join us then.
Yep, they're eating cake. Ruli's got like this bowl of
Jelly bean looking stuff.
jelly beans, whether they're
Probably not that, but regardless.
little malted eggs or whatever.
Got a spoon and happily munch them down.
And she gets one that seems especially crunchy and tough and catches a little in her throat. She has some orange juice or whatever to wash it down.
Pomegranate juice.
You okay? Like, yeah, it's just a little crunchy. I'm sure this won't be important.
Yep.
So she goes home from that.
Yep, and see her with a big plate of donuts, and he's eating a bunch of them.
Oh.
And Goremon's like, "Didn't you have dinner?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
Keeps eating and eating. And I suppose for one night, her eating a bit isn't too big of cause for concern.
Yeah. Well, cut to the next day. We really need to get this one moving along. There's not a lot to talk about here. We should be done this pretty quick.
Yep, everyone's gathered for the feast, and they're talking to get their way in.
Yep,
they're
talking to
like, are those AI holograms? Yes, because the Digimon all reveal themselves.
Well,
And
actually,
then
she first says they're having trouble one AI hologram stealing food, which is odd because they shouldn't eat. But then Hero says, well, actually mine do, and then they reveal them all, and they buy tickets for them.
Yeah.
And they go have a wonderful meal, and we see Ruli have this empty plate after empty plate next door.
She's got like 4 stacks of at least a dozen each. We haven't established how much Ruli eats or not, but this is not.
This is a lot.
If she ate this much, it would have come up by now.
Yeah.
So this is clearly very unusual.
She ate like Lena Inverse, we know by now.
Yes. And Espimon wants to die because when Gamma is over, oh, I love chocolates. Chocolates are just the best. He looks away for a moment. Espimon steals his
Downs the entire bowl
of them. Where are my champions? I'm like, whoa, Espimon, you are
bold. Disaster.
You are bold.
But eventually time runs out and Ruli's like, oh, I'm not quite done yet.
Yep.
And on their way home, they stop at a restaurant and Ruli orders meal after meal.
Yeah,
after meal.
We leave Aoi and Mika at this point,
Yes.
but the rest of the gang is still there. And and I don't know how she has money.
It seems like her family's fairly well to do, always has been.
It seems like it, but I don't know. They got a nice piano, so...
They're descended from royalty, so...
Oh, yeah. I'd forgotten about that, because,
it's been
never
so
come up
important.
again.
Yeah.
But
well, regardless, but they were not willing to worry about it all until she starts getting the funky mouth thing. And then looks at Gamamon, whose tail is wagging, and thinks that looks tasty.
And just jumps and grabs it and bites down. And yeah, now everyone finally steps in and is trying to wrestle Gamamon
still
away.
out there, and Gamamon's still apparently being 4 years old, except being episode 63, while he's about out of his bit.
Yep. And so,
And so the logical thing to do now would be to take her to Mummymon. So we lock her in the boys' dorm room, it looks like, because it's not her house. No piano there. And eventually she makes a ruckus and breaks windows, and they open the door.
It might be Hiro's house.
Maybe. It's not her. It's not Ruli's
I don't think
house.
it's her house, yes. Yeah, and
But regardless, it's not where they should have taken her.
Yeah, and Gormon's watching out the window. The rest are like holding the...
Eventually she makes enough progress. She breaks a window. Hiro opens the door. She jumps out the door. Goes downstairs. Kyoshiro comes back because they went shopping with one small plastic shopping bag full of food.
Have you seen how much she's been eating?
This obviously won't do it, but after jumping on it, she kind of passes out. And we go to commercial break.
Because I'm so worried Ruli's going to, really be in trouble here.
Yeah. So much drama when Ruli's one affected.
Yeah.
So then we come back, and now we're at Mummymon, where we should have been all along.
I mean, at least they've eventually get there, but yes, it took longer.
Filler.
Well, how many episodes have been?
This one's particularly big.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mummimon's looking her over, and eventually he's kind of done looking over as she starts floating out of bed.
Yeah, she gets this weird pale look and glow to her.
Starts getting sparky, Mummimon puts it.
Yes. And then we get that red digital ring, which again, 63 episodes in, we should have a name and know what the heck this thing is. But it just always shows up when Digimon are involved. And this alien, ghostish looking... Yeah. And I will say that I mentioned Quartzmon last episode. I meant Blastmon. I got the name wrong. So it's very funny that it so turns out that, yeah, Goromon knows pretty much right away that that's Quartzmon. But what's it doing? Because, yeah, it like comes out of her like a ghost kind of thing. And it falls back down. And she doesn't look particularly good.
No, she's looking kind of gray-haired now, yeah.
Pale and... like her clothes changed to match, too.
Yes, they did.
Maybe
Goose Gamamon snuck in her color. I don't know.
Had plenty weirder things happen, in these
regardless, not Blastmon.
Yeah, Squirtsmon starts...
turns intangible and takes out through the window.
Yes.
And they go, you might want to, Mummimon goes, you might want to chase that. That's kind of very lead to our patience.
Yes, this newly formed Digimon that just came out of somebody can go tangible and ghost and intangible and knows how to go through the window and... Okay. That's very strange. Of course, this will be very explained, because Ghost Game explains everything. No. But yeah, they go off chasing after it. It's... Espeon's with them, and...
Eventually they say, well, since something's really big, and they talk to Mummimon and goes, yeah, that's Quartzmon's outer shell.
Yeah, we see this giant...
Yeah.
I mean, this thing's a mile, maybe not quite that, but, it's a huge sphere in the sky. And we have Kaus and Tesla Jellymon by now, and as they get closer, they're finally like, alright, well, if it's gonna come to a fight, Espeon, you take Darling.
Yeah.
So we see a brief flash of Hero's Digivice, and Espeon digivolves again, and she just chucks Kyo over. Don't throw me like I'm a potato! Whatever. Exactly.
And as they're coming forward, we don't see a whole bunch of more of these Quartzmon. They're flying past them towards the main shell, the outer shell.
Not even hundreds, thousands of these things. I mean, it is an amazing number of them that, once again, no one will notice or mention ever again.
I mean, in this case, it has literally happened over like 2 days. I'll give them a little bit of a break. This is like Kotaro, I haven't bathed in 2 weeks.
Well, the fact that our heroes don't know, but the fact that no one in society will question or know this, knows something
that
happened.
many people, yeah.
That many people are infected, yeah. And as it starts to gather those up, we see a bunch of little black sparkles come back out of it.
Yeah, after they all come in, afterwards it spits out a black, looks like a mist initially.
Mm-hmm. And Hiro eventually reaches out and catches part of it.
One of them, yeah.
And looks at it. And it looks like a very tiny version of the sphere that we're looking at. And, this is what Ruli ate.
Yep, and then kind of flashback and a little more detail. Okay, I get why you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's fairly obvious, but this is fine. I understand. Make sure it's nice and clear.
Yes, that must be how, it got inside the patient. Okay. It's better than many things you've done this season, though.
And then from the outer shell comes a really big alien form. we saw before.
Looks very similar to the things that were bringing energy or came out of the humans, or however you exactly want to tell them. And he's all talking about
Time is a treasure. You will not stop my time.
tide.
Yeah.
He's talking like a big bad clockmon. Don't know why. But
No.
it does look like in his face he's kind of got like a
You've seen Quartzmon and Boy Hunter.
minute
So.
hand. Yeah. He was weird then too.
He was kind of hard to understand then too.
Yeah. This is not the first time we've seen Quartzmon.
So after saying these things about time, he shoots this really impressive big green laser.
Oh, he's got some firepower. that is no doubt.
And to counteract such huge power, other than turning on the field, they go to Ultimate. Because again, we can't take this seriously.
Nope.
And the two of them go after and attack it, and gee, they don't make a dent.
Mm-hmm. So instead of launching its lasers at it again, apparently it realized they're too small to hit with it, I guess. Dozens of these hands start stretching out, and more of these just the long, stretchy hands that we saw that people kind of have before. Very similar. And so Hero's like, dodge it, and go left, go right, go down right.
Yeah. Oh, then.
And Keel's like, oh, I get it, and starts to out of world teleport around, and they start tying up the arms into a knot. If you were having to deal with this before and having these troubles, it was fine, but we know you have a stronger form.
Yeah.
Why are we...
If you had to do this to compete,
Yeah.
so you're not at that step yet. But it looks like it works. You kind of all tap in a knot, and they all kind of merge your really big hands, and then they just grab them.
Grab them. Mm-hmm.
So that was more filler.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's something there. It's a neat enough idea.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but just why?
In this case, it's just filler because it doesn't have anything to do with the battle. At this point, Angormon picks up the dying Rule and decides he should fly out the window too.
Yeah, he should take the very weak human into a war zone.
And he gets up there and he recognizes the hands are trying to open up their houses, their mouths rather.
And put a little drop of poison in them to turn them into Digimon. Oh, episode.
Yeah, close enough idea. Yeah, don't do that. It'll cause you to explode. He said, oh, that's probably a bad idea. Let's take it seriously now. So we get our Megas.
Well, yeah, no, it's only because that he comes with Ruli and they seem to now realize that they have something to fight for, that they're like, okay, yeah, now let's go to Mega. Why did you need any prompting to go to Mega? You could just do this, right? Because if you can't, you need to tell us this. Normally once you do it once, it's easy. But they're making it seem like they needed it. And they could just be held there after a long time with no time limit going off either. Because no one remembers the time limit unless it's a convenient
Unless you need it for something, yeah. Okay, guys, now they're in Mega. We're in for a good fight? No. Amphimon immediately blows off two of his things outside of his sphere. And Siriusmon does his X
the
thing,
core.
and rocks his world. Huge chunks out of it, X smoking, falling over.
Yep.
Yay!
So this is another Digimon that was the end of a season boss.
That they're taken care of easily, but had lots of trouble with Clavis and Digimon in between.
Yep. Okay. Very strange. But since Quartzmon is actually talking,
Yes, in this one.
he actually has quite a bit more to say, as it turns out.
Yeah, actually get a little bit of an interesting twist here.
Yes, they've done far worse this season. Not really such bad guys, and because Angormon's like, please, I know you took the life force. Please give it back. You have to save her. Well, then what about them? And he reaches down, grabs this midsection, opens up the jaws in his belly, and there are thousands,
Hundreds in this one alone in his belly.
well, yeah,
In training.
in training Digimon. Yeah,
He says Linear Sphere is pretty much full of them too. So
yeah. He later tells you see inside too. You see at least part of it. It is packed.
yeah, but they're all like unconscious or in suspended animation or something, except for one Upamon.
Yeah, there's one Upamon that comes out later and is like, I'm just taking care of them. I'm just trying to get them.
Yeah, we were all sent
fed
here.
and-
We all got sent here selling this human world, and I'm watching out for them. So I can't give back the energy. What would I do about them? And then Amphimon says, well, we'll just use my farm. Business. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
mentioned that briefly in the
it's
Bestemon one.
I think it's even been in 2 other episodes now, but we've never seen it. It's never really,
Where is it? How it's
explained.
working? How it's working as a business?
How is she going to feed that many in training Digimon? I mean, they're in training. They don't eat quite as much as others, but still, it's a
It's a lot of
mouths.
miles.
Yeah.
And
But
where we're
of
going to
course-
hide this football stadium-sized Digimon.
Of course, Stay tuned, where these and other important questions will remain unanswered. Because
So
this is Ghost
eventually-
Game.
Yeah, and so of course Mon kind of reluctantly gives in, and Upamon kind of nods at him and says, sure, that sounds good.
And he
So he-
does.
Releases the smaller aliens back to the human world to turn off the
They turn off, they have to turn off the field.
field so it can get to them. Yeah. And happy ending, yay!
But there's at least something a little more that happens this episode. We take a look around the city, and we see a large number of gatherings of Digimon. We see, I think they were Gazimon?
I think they're Gazimon.
They were really long. That's my best guess. But there was also Swanmon.
Usually don't see them on 4 legs like that.
Yeah, there was Swanmon, Parasauromon, Mamemon.
Yeah.
There was quite a... And each one of them, there was a group of them. It wasn't just one. There was a dozen Swanmon and stuff. It's like, okay, that's a lot. And Clockmon, we see him up on a roof.
So then we see him on top of Airdramon. That's what the group's been talking about. Oh my god, all kinds of Digimon are pouring through.
Ooh. They've been told to evacuate the digital world.
For the human world, yeah.
Huh.
Someone is telling them to escape to the human world. And as he says this, we see a black spot on Gamamon's back.
Okay, so the generals? Is Gulas tied to this? I mean, we call them the generals, but they're who show up whenever
Yeah, because
Gulas
there's
does.
nothing better to call
We
them.
don't know what else.
So is Gulas Gamon someone behind these gates? Doesn't seem right, but...
No. Okay, so cool.
And then we get some more flashbacks. We're talking about the one who opened the gates and the one who sent us here.
Yeah,
and it's free time.
Lilithmon and Kazuhamon talking about it.
Biggest one. And Hero starts to rub his chin, and Clockmon goes, "Do you know anything?" And well, Hero really doesn't know anything
No, I mean
because he hasn't looked into anything. He really doesn't know anything.
we get the little teases that the villains have given us, but that's about it.
Is it a possible cliffhanger? Well, let's look at our next preview
Is
and
it?
find out.
I mean, it looks like a cliffhanger. Oh my gosh, they finally learned. No,
Not
not
looking like
really.
it from the preview. No.
Yeah, we look at episode 64, The Call. And it looks like people going out on a boat or being at least near the water
Being lured into it.
and starting to turn, getting webbed hands,
Merman
and
kind of
turning
thing.
more green.
Merman from like Master of the Universe, not
Yeah,
Merman folk.
not the Little Mermaid. So, Mermaymon? I'm not sure.
Best guess I can.
Yeah,
Most of my guesses.
Neptunemon, if we actually want to, do megas at least. Something like that. But it looks like we don't see any large groups of Digimon.
Yep.
We don't see a gate. We don't see...
Moon Millennium Mon. We don't see Lilithmon. No, nothing
Yeah,
like
we don't
that.
see any continuations that would make me think that this episode's going to be any different than the other 63 that we have to show you already. And we're in the end game, supposedly.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more Digimon content from us. As always, everyone, remember to be awesome. Next one, here. Bye-bye.